Hey, Tubies, this is Bob Hickman. So good to be here with you. Well, I promised you this week we'd have messages from the spirit world. So here we are. I'm settling in here to my new office, which I'll give you a tour of. It's a little larger. I'm in the same building, same suite, but I've got a bigger window and a little more space. Anyways, I'm so glad you're here. And after I get settled, we'll have a little more of that. But I accidentally sent home boxes of stuff that I moved out of my old office. And my hat for messages from the spirit world was in there. So today we're having the magic bag instead of the magic hat. But next week we'll have the hat back. Anyways, I am so glad you're here. And I want to say thank you to all of you who came up to all my recent videos. I really appreciate all the wonderful support. You guys seem to really enjoy my video on my altar to Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And I'm so glad you enjoyed that. Anyways, listen, also make sure to be here on Thursday because we're going to have another video. We're going to have horoscopes for August 2014. You don't want to miss that. So anyways, the letters have been coming in. I've been throwing them in the magic bag. Instead of magic bag. Still a magic bag. And we're going to see what Spirit has for you guys today. But before we get into that, give me just a moment and let me attune to the spirit world. Okay. I hear my trusty guide Fletcher back here. All right. Going in our bag here, our first letter is from Horror Beauty FX. And she writes, she says, "Thank you, Bob. What does it mean when you have a deja vu that lasts a long time? My last deja vu lasted 2.5 days. How do I make it stop?" Well, you know, hon, whenever you have a deja vu, that's a very good question, by the way. Whenever you have a deja vu, what that's about, that is the spirit world's way of saying, pay attention. What happens many times is at nighttime when we sleep, we go out of our body and we go up into the spirit world. And when we're in the spirit world, we meet with our guides and angels, and they give us kind of overviews of things that are going to be kind of part of our journey in the coming days. And so what happens is when we get back to earth, into our body, when we go into our week, many times what happens is we'll have a glimpse of something that they reviewed with us in spirit. And that review is what you're remembering. That's what creates a deja vu. People were saying, what's a deja vu? Deja vu is an experience when, you know, you're like going somewhere, you're doing something, and it's like you think, oh my God, I've done this before. You might be in a conversation, people are talking, and you're like, I know this whole conversation. That's because you got a preview of it in the spirit world with your angels and guides. And what that means is pay attention. There's something there the spirit wants you to watch or to learn. Could be a warning about somebody that's talking to you. Could also be a message like, you know, help this person, listen to them. So pay attention to your deja vus. Now, you said you had one that lasted 2.5 days, and that is actually not common, but it does occur. And the way you make it stop is that you tell the spirit world, you say, okay guys, I got the message, but just give me a little glimpse. I don't need the full replay. A lot of times the spirit people need directions because they don't know how much we're getting, so they just keep sending information. And so when you start having that, you start to tell the spirit people, say, spirit people, all right, I'm listening, but just kind of quit that, okay? And if you keep that dialogue going in time, it will stop, okay? Good question. Thanks for writing. All right, our next letter is from Heather Barbie Thompson. And she writes, she says, "Thank you, Bob. Is there an animal spiritual world?" What about animals? Yes, actually. Well, there's really, the truth is there's only one spirit world. And all beings, human, animal, plants even, upon the end of their sojourn here on earth, they go back to spirit. You'll recall, if you've studied near-death experiences, many people meet their beloved pets when they first cross, and that's because they're there as well. So we all share one spirit world. There are beautiful gardens over there because plants have a soul and a consciousness. Now, I know a lot of people don't believe that. But I would encourage you all to read, if you want to learn about that, the book, The Secret Life of Plants. And I'm going to probably do another whole video on that. But all things, animals, plants, insects, even bacteria, have a spirit and a consciousness. And at the end of their life cycle, they all return back to spirit. So yes, animals do live on, and you will see your beloved pets again. And I think that's a wonderful thing, because who wouldn't want to see your beloved animal, okay? You will. All right. Our next letter is from Jeffrey Richard. Jeffrey writes, he says, "Saying about, I'm often in an energetic whirlwind, and I wonder if I'm supposed to be going somewhere in life. Also, can you tell me about relationships, any upcoming travel? Will I go to the UK? It's a long-time dream." Hi, Jeffrey. Good questions. You know, right now what's happening is on your chart, you're at a crossroads, and I do see around you this kind of energetic whirlwind is Spirit's way of saying, keep going, keep going. It's funny because when I step back here on your chart, I feel like, you know, this last like 2 years you've had a lot of struggle. And I think that some of that whirlwind is you kind of working through the hard stuff. You know, we all have to do hard stuff on our chart. But I do see you, you know, this year as we go through the summer and in the fall really coming out of that. And I do feel like love is yours. I do have a relationship coming for you. It doesn't look like it's until probably the end of the year, around December. But I see a person connecting with you. The name around I get is Kim, K-I-M. And I do feel like you're going in, you're ready, getting ready for a long-term relationship. I do see travel around you. In 2015, it does look like you're traveling. I do see the United Kingdom at the time. I also get Spain around you, so I think you'll see both of those. But you have a past life linked to England, and you will rediscover that when you go there. It looks like you were in the town of Bath. So I'd like you to research the city of Bath. You are a knight in Bath. And there's still an order, the Knights of Bath, so you might want to research that. God bless. Thanks for writing. Okay, our next letter out of our magic bag is Spanish Luscious. Hello, dear. Good to see you. And she writes, she says, "Say, Bob, am I an old soul or a young soul? Do I have any spiritual gifts?" Yeah. Well, you know, hon, listen, you're an old soul. And, you know, you would not be drawn to Spirit Channel if you weren't an old soul. See, my channel, you know, it's not for the beginner. It's for advanced souls. You have to be an old soul to be at Spirit Channel. And you definitely are an old soul. You know, in terms of your gifts, I pick up dream prophecy around you. I feel this is one of your areas that you've had actually all your life. I feel it goes back on your mother's side. But I see that developing more and more. And I feel like you're going to also start having what we call clairvoyance in a waking state. So you will get messages or visions in dreams, but also you're going to start having them when you're awake too. I also pick up around you some spirit influences. I get a grandmother in spirit range. I believe it's on your mother's side of the family. And I feel like she was very gifted as a psychic, but I pick her presence up. And I feel like she's coming in to work with you to help you open your third eye, okay? So keep me posted. Blessings to you. All right, let's see. Our next letter is from, oh, stick it together here. Kylie Woodall. Hi, Kylie. Kylie says, any past lives, and also say, Bob, is my soul on track? Who is my soulmate? Good question, son. Past lives, well, you've had a lot of past lives. Your most recent past life was in Germany in the 1920s. I believe that you were connected to music in some way. You were like a jazz musician in like Berlin. And I believe that you actually escaped Germany right at the rise of Nazis in the 30s. And you immigrated. You got away and went to Switzerland. And you escaped the Nazis. I think you would have been targeted because you were an artistic person. And I feel that you're carrying an artistic theme over into this life. Is your soul on track? Absolutely. You know, this is a good question. A lot of people ask me, is my soul on track? And when you ask that question, that's a wonderful question to ask because we should pay attention to our soul journey. But the very fact that you ask it is a good sign. That means you're pretty well on track. Because, you know, people that are not on their chart, that are not on track with their soul, they never even think about it. And that's very sad. Sometimes I'll have people come for a reading, and it's interesting because they're really off their chart. But when I ask them, oh, what brought you to a reading? Like, oh, I don't know. Somebody just paid for it. I just came. And it's interesting because they didn't have the desire to find it. They were just kind of pushed into a reading. But anyway, simply we get their soul on track. But yes, your soul is on track. And you ask me, who is my soulmate? Well, I have to tell you, Kylie, in terms of soulmate, I don't really believe that we get involved with our soulmate in this life. I'm not a big believer in soulmates because I feel like in the spirit world we're given a lot of options. I do believe we chart, you know, significant relationships, but I also think that if we put all that pressure on soulmate, you know, if that relationship goes bad, then we think, oh my God, we'll never have another love. And that's not really how spirit works. Spirit wants us to be open to love wherever it comes from. And in terms of relationship for you, I do feel like in 2015 you are in a stronger relationship. That does look like it's a longer term relationship. So soulmate, you know, a lot of times our soulmate, by the way, is also on the other side. So they're not always here when we're here. So that's why I also tell people, don't wait for your soulmate. Find a person you like, you connect to, and don't worry about that, because Spirit will show you, if you're tuning into your spiritual life, that you're on track and you'll have a good relationship. Okay? Hope that helps. Blessings to you. All right. Our next letter is from Karen Medina. Karen writes, she says, thank you, Bob. I need some summer love decisions here. She says, I like two men. I used to work with them, and I love them both very much. One is an ex and one is a friend. Will there be a love connection? You know, Karen, in terms of the ex, I don't see a reconnection there. And then the other one that you like, I do think he has an attraction to you, but I feel like it's a little slow to get going. So you're going to have to be patient with that one. I do feel around September, though, you and this the one that's the friend will start to spend more time together. And I do think it will develop. So even though you love them both, I think it's the friend one that's actually going to be the one you end up with. Keep me posted. God bless you. All right, our next letter is from Gypsy Moon. That's a good question. Gypsy writes, she says, think about, I used to have deja vu frequently. Now I don't have it at all. Why? Well, you know, like I said earlier, deja vu is always about spirit reviewing lessons with us. And what happens is when you stop having deja vu, that means you've already learned the lessons, and that you process information at a more rapid rate. So it actually is a sign of advancement. I know you're saying, gee, I kind of miss it, and some of you also make comments that, well, I miss not having deja vus. Well, you know, you'll have it sometimes and sometimes you won't. But it doesn't mean you're not connected to spirit. It just means that you got the information while you were there and you don't need to have that reminder. So that's okay. If you want to start feeling more connected to spirit, do daily meditation, and that will help you. Speaking of meditation, a lot of you have been asking about meditation video, and I do think next week we are going to do a meditation video, so be back there. We'll have more on that. But yes, I'm going to teach about meditation. Okay. All right, our next letter is from Sarah Hernandez. This is so funny. Well, just talk about meditation. She says, Bob, will you soon do a meditation video? I always see purple when I fall asleep. Does meditation have a bad side? Very good questions. Well, yes, I am going to do a meditation video next week, so we will do that. In terms of seeing purple, that is actually the color of the crown chakra. The crown chakra is an energy center right here at the top of the head, and it's usually seen as white or purple or purplish white. So what that means is you're leaving your head through the top of your crown chakra, which we all do. We astral project when we sleep. Some people come out through their heart chakra, some come out through their third eye, some come out through their crown. But when you're getting that purple light, that's the crown chakra energy. And as far as meditation having a bad side, no, meditation itself does not have a bad side, but not approaching meditation in the right disposition or understand or work with that energy can create some disruptions, which we'll talk about in our video. So I'll save that for next week. Good questions, though. Thanks for writing. Our next letter is from Villa Diane. She says, say goodbye. I sent you a picture. It looks like it's a fairy that I captured, but it also very much resembles the Hathor aliens. You mentioned about how you showed in your video on Hathors what they look like, and this looks very similar in the ear area. Yeah, you know, Vella, I'm sorry I haven't been able to get back to you on that. I've been having computer problems. Yes, I do believe you captured a fae. Now, what's interesting in the fae realm is the fae realm has a lot of different species. And there are some that do resemble the Hathors. I have heard about this, so that's not crazy. I think that really all the life in the universe is interconnected. So it would not surprise me that we'd find Hathor-looking fairies. We have human-looking fairies, and why not Hathor-looking? Because really all of life on this planet, I do believe, originated with aliens that kind of seeded the earth. So I think throughout all species of life, we're going to find traces of our ancestors, which some of them are the Hathors. Good questions. Thanks for writing. Well, guys, that is all I'm going to get to today. I'm so glad you're here. Listen, keep it here at Spiritual. On Thursday, we are going to have horoscopes for August 2014. You don't want to miss that. But I'm so glad you're here. And, of course, you know next week we'll have another Messages from the Spirit World.